Ahead on Early Birds. It's the first place Falcons.
Hey, men, we on to the next. Hey, we talked about what we want to do, and let's just go do it.
And the boys from Dallas. We'll break down the big game, including Shock's film review of an evolving offense. Plus, we get you ready for the Florida-Georgia game. Sorry, Shock. And say trick or treat to one of the most fun Falcons events of the year. That and more coming your way on Early Birds.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin, and Shock. Sum up your feelings on the Dallas Cowboys in one word.
Okay, well, my feelings are Georgia, Florida first. Now, my feelings about the Cowboys, I would say confusing, man, because they have been up and down. You don't know who they are. They're supposed to be great. I think they're confusing to everybody.
We'll see what Cowboys come to town tomorrow. Let's get things started with the opening drive. It will be the Falcons and the team from Dallas tomorrow at 1 p.m. here on Fox 5. And the focal point matchup, C.D. Lamb meet A.J. Terrell. Shock.
And this is exactly what you want to see. The premier guys in their particular positions go against each other. The reason why you paid A.J. Terrell all that money. The reason why they paid C.D. Lamb all that money because they are top-tier talent. And I don't expect A.J. to travel with C.D. Lamb through this ball game, but there will be times where they're matched up one-on-one. And at your A.J. Terrell, you have to win these matchups more than he's going to get you. A.J. Terrell, last 2 ball games, 2 picks. I love it.
They throw the ball to C.D. Lamb a ton. One way to stop that from happening is finally get the pass rush going.
We're not doing a great job of rushing the passer individually, right? We have gotten better with our ability to rush the passer. We have forced the ball to come out quicker. Some of them been completion, so you want to play a little bit tighter coverage to give them more time to get there. But with that being said, some of the balls come out quickly, make quick decisions, and AJ's going to make plays, or Jesse's going to make plays. But you're definitely right. We still got to increase our pass rush. You know, nobody's setting excuses for those guys. We have seen, you know, different practice performance than we've seen game performance, and that's the thing you got to change.
As we continue on the opening drive, Shock. Kirk Cousins, you like the pregame speech, chant, whatever?
You know what? I'm with it, man. I think he's kind of getting into the Atlanta culture for sure. He's continued to use everything that he has that brings this city together. You got to think about it, though. Kirk's playing at an all-time level. They've scored 30 points in the last 3 out of 4 ball games. And it's because Kirk is being able to get the football out of his hands and guys are making plays. I love it. Keep on dropping bars. Kirk, if you're winning ball games, I'm all about it. Here's Kirk on the type of teammate he likes to go to battle with.
There's a little bit of like a substance that lacks flash almost. Like the substance is there, but it doesn't have like the flash. And that's who I've been my whole life is like, I'll bring substance, but I may not, have the flash. And so all I want is substance. If flash, great if you have it or not, but I want substance. And I do think this team has a lot of guys with substance.
Only flashy rhymes for Kirk. As we wrap up the opening drive, look, it's going to be a great crowd tomorrow afternoon. Just being real, though, there's going to be some Cowboys fans. As part of it when they come to town, can Atlanta fans, Shock, make their own statement?
I sure hope so. And I think the Falcons have to do their part and start winning games at home. Obviously, they've been really good on the road.
Yeah.
The only couple of losses they got have been have been inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So the fans have to continue to bring it. This team will continue to play at a high level. So I expect it to be loud. And do not let the Cowboys fans drown you out in this ball game. Allow the Atlanta environment to be real.
Absolutely. Looking forward to what should be a great game tomorrow. Welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder, and Cowboys defensive coordinator is Mike Zimmer, super well respected around the league. And actually, he's Kirk Cousins' former head coach for a time when they were in Minnesota, so they know each other.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. When you play in the league as long as Kirk has, as long as he's coached, you're bound to run into each other again. So this will be an interesting chess match. They both know each other, so we'll see who has the advantage.
All right, Shock's going to go solve some mysteries in the film room, including finding out who really shot JR.
No
Dallas?
idea. It's a show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
All right, mixing it up. Go warm up the telestrator. We will see you in just a few. But first, Falcons tight end Charlie Woerner does not mind doing the dirty work. He's got just 5 catches over his last 3 seasons. But he is a crucial part of Atlanta's offense and the 49ers offense over the 4 years before this one. He's also a proud UGA alum, just like Shock. And I went to a school, DJ's mentioned it once or twice, that the Dogs are facing later today in Jacksonville. So when Charlie and I talked this week, it came up. look harsh.
You're a Florida guy?
Well, I was gonna start and say, just
you
so we're
gotta
on the
go
same.
ahead.
I'm cool. You cool? Like, I might say Florida, Georgia though.
It's definitely Georgia, Florida.
Okay, well,
A, B,
we'll
C,
agree to
D,
disagree.
F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N.
FG, right.
It's still Georgia, Florida.
How's the tight end room this week with Kyle?
He tried to talk some smack, and I just said it wasn't even worth talking smack. Until y'all get better, it's not even worth it. It's just it's a sad state of affairs down there in Gainesville.
I mean, I really don't have much to say. So
There's nothing to say.
Are there no wagers in the tight end room?
We haven't done anything yet. We haven't talked about T-shirt or jersey or nothing yet. So
When you show up on Sunday and you guys get on the bus or are on the sideline, will it come up with Kyle one way or the other?
it'll come up after the game. Like, 'cause we'll have games at 3:30.
Yeah.
Meetings Saturday night. We'll probably talk about it. Yeah.
There's a throw, and it's Charlie Warner the catch. That's a first down.
Fill in the blank. The Falcons' offense right now is
Progressing.
Okay.
We're upward trend, I'd say. Well, you look at the two Tampa games. You look at we won two different ways, really. First game, you threw over 500. Last game, I think you threw for 250 with 4 touchdowns. But still, I feel like we're continuing to progress and be a balanced offense. Figuring out the run game, I think we had a lot better run game the last time against the Bucs compared to the first game. So we're just continuing to figure it out and mesh the run and pass.
you have a lot of experience playing on first place teams. You're now on another first place team. Do things change? Does it feel a little different when you're at the top and everyone's gunning for you guys?
I mean, yes and no. I would say no just because I feel like this team's mature. I think Raheem leads the team well in the sense that we're always putting the pressure on ourselves, especially going to practice. We're always trying to get better no matter whether we lost the game or won a game. We're always trying to get better. Just focus on the next game. You're trying to go 1-0 each week, and you're always putting the pressure on yourself.
All right, man.
Is that good?
Enjoy the Florida-Georgia game.
Georgia, Florida.
It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room. So cut the lights and let's get started.
All right, Charlie just talked about this offense is progressing. They're starting to do things that really allow them to score a lot of points. Like I said, 30 points in the last 3 out of 4 ball games, and they're doing it because they've been consistent, but also because the way they set things up. Now, this is a prototypical play that the Falcons use a lot of the times. I'm gonna draw it up for you. What happens is Kyle Pitts runs a seam right through the middle, and on the outside, you're gonna get Drake on what you call an in cut. And this is the usual big time play they use on 3rd down. They hit it all the time. Drake's caught it a bunch of times. But there's a wily vet on the other side over here. This wily vet, Antoine Winfield, when the 3 receivers to the side, he's gonna push this way. But when he pushes that way, that leaves my man Mooney on the backside. And he's gonna run this post right up through here, and he's gonna end up catching it for a big time touchdown. Now, the reason why this works is because they've been so consistent in catching this football. So let's watch what happens. Watch Antoine Winfield here. Watch him start to creep over to the 3 receiver side. Look at him now. Look at his eyes starting to go over here to the 3 receiver side, pushing to where Drake London's coming. But now you leave Mooney on the backside, 1-on-1 with this defensive back who's already playing outside leverage. Now he's gonna hit the post and he's gonna go over the top. Kirk does a good job of looking front side, but then coming backside. It's what we used to call a peek route. You peek back there, see if it's open. If it's not, you come back to the front side. Because this guy is doing too much, you push him that way, and now you got a chance to throw this football over the top. And a nice job of reading it out, and watch Kirk come back, drop it over the top. And now look where the safety is. He's in no man's land right here. No man's land in the middle of the field. He can't get to Mooney. He can't get to Drake. This is an unbelievable job of play call, and also Mooney killing that defensive back on the back end. These are the type of plays the Falcons will continue to have to hit. These are the plays that they have to connect on. Kirk Cousins does as good as anybody in the entire league of making plays like this. And guys like Mooney and Drake, they're making people pay when they mess up on the back end.
Yeah, Shock. Zach Robinson said Kirk Cousins was seeing the game at an elite level against Tampa. He'll try to keep that going against Dallas. We got a busy college football day ahead. Michael Jenkins excited to talk Ohio State, Penn State, and yes, we'll break down. Can we just call it the Gators and Dogs? Can we agree on that? We'll see, DJ. Plus,
sometimes you don't get hands on, but it's always about the feet. Eyes, feet, hands.
AJ Terrell's been on an interception streak, and it starts with getting physical at the snap. He explains when we go deep.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best, nothing. And sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And the Home Depot. How doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds. It's not Saturday down south without talking college football. Brought to you by Zaxby's, Famous Fingers and Sauces. Here's Shock.
All right, we promised you Michael Jenkins, and Jink is here. Jink, what up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Week 10, man. Whew. We are in week 10 of the college football season. Crazy. It is definitely flying by. More big games on tap today. Justin already talked about it. We're going to talk about your Buckeyes in a minute, of course, the big game. But let's start with the Oregon Ducks going to Michigan. I think last time they played was 2007. Sounds weird, but intriguing matchup. How do you see this one playing out?
I don't think it's going to go well for the Wolverines. You speak of 2007. Oregon won that game in 2007. They're playing at a high clip. Coach Lanning, Dylan Gabriel, who's front runner for the Heisman right now, is playing at
lefty.
A high level, completing 75% of his passes right now for Oregon. So they're putting up points, and it's going to be weird to see a former national champion just a year ago be 5-4 if they lose this game.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Here's Michigan quarterback Davis Ward on their confidence facing the number 1 team.
Obviously, they've played well and got a lot of wins, but at the same time, we're Michigan, and Michigan, this is a big time program, and we got a lot of great players in this building, and I'm confident that we were more than capable of beating any team in the country. Whether it was Michigan State last week, whether it was Fresno week 1, we treat them with respect.
All right, Jake, let's talk about my dogs taking on Florida. We both know it's Georgia, Florida. Don't listen to Justin.
Hey, I got no say in this fight.
Georgia it is. All right. Both teams coming off bye weeks. Will this game come down to which QB makes the most plays, or are you looking at something else in this game, or do you even think the Gators can make this a game?
I do think the Gators making the game. I think they're playing better after they progressed in this season. They had a pretty big win against Kentucky and kind of blew them out. So they're feeling better. DJ Lagway, the freshman, he's getting more comfortable in the pocket. But if Carson Beck can limit the turnovers, he threw a few picks against Texas, he's throwing a few picks against Bama, and a fumble. So if he can limit the turnovers and they can keep that run game going with ETN, I think the dogs handle business.
One last thing. You talked about Carson and throwing those interceptions. Do you think it's something he doesn't trust his receivers, or you think it's, he's just in a funk right now?
It could be just a little bit of a funk.
Yeah.
They're still growing with that relationship with him and the receivers. So I just think it's a tad bit of a funk. But I think if he eliminates those, I think the dogs will be okay.
Here's dog head man Kirby Smart on what they must do to affect Gator QB DJ Lagway.
Great arm talent. You can't affect that. You're not going to affect him throwing the ball down the field. He does that well. You got to cover the ball and you got to finish down the field. You got to get the ball in the air and attack it, because that's what they do. They run the ball to set up shots, and they do a tremendous job doing that. You can't cut guys free. We've got to make him uncomfortable. We've got to get after him in the pocket and do a good job of putting disguises out there that he hadn't seen.
All right, Jake, the monster game of the day going down in just a few hours. Your Buckeyes on the road at Penn State. I mean, this is going to be a month. Your last big game you guys had didn't go your way. Here's another chance for you guys in that spotlight in Happy Valley. What makes Penn State so dangerous? How does Ohio State get it done?
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah? I ain't never heard you say that now.
For whatever reason, Coach Day and big, top 5 opponents, he has not fared well for whatever reason. Now we go on the road to Penn State. Offensive line isn't as strong. We're missing some big stars on the offensive line. And Penn State is pushing the ball downfield. They're scoring points. Throw it to 4. That's what I say. Just throw it to 4 and everything will be all right. But Penn State's playing at a very high level. They got a tight end that had 17 catches for 200 yards against USC by himself. Tight end.
17?
17. So, Penn State's playing well, but I still believe in my Buckeyes.
All right, here's Penn State head coach James Franklin on what's going to be important for them against the Buckeyes.
Obviously, how they're playing again this year. You look at them statistically. They're playing really good football pretty much across the board. Obviously, we all know it's going to be a challenge. We're going to need a tremendous environment in that stadium on Saturday. Home field advantage is going to be something that's going to be very, very important for us.
Man, Happy Valley like it's going to be rock. Yeah, you got to score. What you got?
Ooh, Buckeyes 28-20.
Ooh, okay, coming out with the win. Good luck to you, Buckeyes, man. I'll tell you that. Now, Justin, me and you, we got something on the line right here. Are we going to swap clothes? What do we got for this big Georgia-Florida game, by the way?
I don't have a lot of confidence, but you're gonna call me out on early birds. All right. All right, you're on.
Let's go.
I might be wearing red. We'll see. I'll hope for a surprise. Great stuff, guys. All right. A.J. Terrell snapped his multi-season interception drought with 2 picks in his last 3 games. He'll try to do it again tomorrow against Dak Prescott. Terrell's good before the ball even gets in the air, including right as the ball is snapped, jamming receivers at the line of scrimmage. A.J. explains that technique in this week's Going Deep.
Looking, shoots it for the end zone. Intercepted, A.J. Terrell.
It's patience and confidence, really. Playing outside that corner, you're always going to be exposed for giving up a catch, a big play, and then the plays that you don't give up nothing is not really highlighted unless it's a PB or interception. But just, it's a tough job, but every other job is as well. None of the techniques are going to work throughout the whole game. So you got to really come up there with a plan. You got a pure step technique where it's like, I just move 1 foot, keep 1 foot still, and we aiming for the chest, like high shoulder or whatever. But my eyes is always like on the hips to the number, right in the box, and just trying to get hands on at the line. If receivers are good too. Sometimes you don't get hands on, but it's always about the feet. Eyes, feet, hands. Pure step, you got the inch technique where you're just playing like a soft mirror technique where you just stand in front of the receiver. You got the hard jam when you want to, put hands on them now so you don't get off the ball. Some receivers you may have to switch it up, but like usually when I'm following or whatever, I would have to switch it up because I can't just keep doing the same thing all game. But yeah, certain receivers you can use the same technique with if you're not following them, but it's a chess match.
Great breakdown. More to come on Early Birds, including a spooky sweet tradition. That's ahead on Early Birds.
Going Deep is brought to you by Zaxby's, famous fingers and sauces. We're getting your Saturday started right. Early Birds is back in a moment.
Welcome back to Early Birds. The Falcons hope to keep their injury report nice and quiet coming out of tomorrow's game. Any position on the roster can deal with injuries, but how the medical staffs deal with those injuries can depend on the position they're dealing with. That's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
I think when it comes to different positions and injuries, I think if we focus on like hamstring strains, for example, or ankle sprains, for example, these types of common injuries that happen, they're different from position to position, player to player, as everything is. But you talk about a hamstring strain in a, super fast wide receiver, kick returner, defensive back versus a hamstring strain maybe in an offensive lineman. A lot of times you may have to go a little bit slower with the speed player when it comes to a hamstring strain, just because we know that injury commonly is going to occur with a quick deceleration or acceleration movement that more commonly will be performed at those positions more so than maybe an offensive lineman. So the tolerance to return to play may be a little bit quicker for certain positions based upon that, specifically when it comes to soft tissue injuries. But then when it comes to something like ankle sprains, same thing. We may be able to brace or bracket, or some kind of protective device on something like an ankle sprain or a knee sprain, where an offensive lineman can perform safely and comfortably and do their job, whereas a speed guy who has a lot of cutting and pivoting needs to their position may not tolerate wearing some bulky brace or some kind of protective device to play that position.
All right, next on Early Birds, we go trick-or-treating with the rookies as they visit some very deserving kids. That's after the break.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
I'm looking forward to it. I got this all purple Teletubby costume on, and I'm going to be the best me I can today.
That is awesome. It was the Falcons rookies visiting the Arthur M. Blank Hospital Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. They do this every year with the rookies. And DJ, this is my favorite event they do in the community.
It is. I mean, just the fact you see Casey Washington, his Teletubbies, and he's smiling, and you see the kids smiling. It is one of those kind of events you just love to be a part of. And the guys, like, they enjoyed it too.
Falcons and Cowboys tomorrow here on Fox 5. Quick final thought, Falcons fans, should they be feeling good?
I think they should be. This is a game that you should win, but we've had those games before this year. But you got to take care of Dak Prescott, number one. But I think it's a game you win.
There'll be a lot of Cowboys fans. Maybe the Falcons fans can let them leave a little bit early. That's it for us here on Early Birds. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. Enjoy the Florida-Georgia game.
Georgia-Florida.
Have a good morning and a great weekend.
Let's go. Time to sneak it.